amplifier is essentially the Model 50 but with network or digital connectivity. I absolutely adored my time with the Model 50, and it's the #1 reason that I requested this model, as I didn't want my time with that amplifier to end. So this was an opportunity to extend that experience just a little bit. And if you're wondering, this is damn near perfect. And of course, if you wouldn't mind just liking this video, subscribing to the channel, it'll help me out a ton, help me get more awesome products like this in for review. I'd really appreciate it. Cheers. This amplifier is fully loaded. The headline reads, a 70 watt per channel integrated amplifier powered by HIFI with HDMI ARC. And in my review of the Model 50, I stated that this is the expert merging of a preamplifier and amplifier into one beautiful chassis that you can live with for the rest of your life. This one takes it a step further, adding all that digital connectivity and also just increasing the price to $2,700 US, $700 more than the Model 50. It's fitted with 3 analog inputs, a phono input, 1 optical and coaxial each, HDMI ARC, USB, network, Bluetooth, and power amp in. Output-wise, you have record out, a sub out with selectable cutoffs, and a single set of speaker outputs. Basically, it's got pretty much everything that you would want in a modern integrated amplifier to just get going and listening to music. But for me, it's got 3 things that I deem almost essential for a modern integrated amplifier. It's got tone controls, it's got HDMI ARC, and it has home theater bypass. So essentially, you could connect this to your TV, connect a turntable, some speakers, not worry about an outboard streamer or anything. The only thing that I think this thing is missing is a USB-B or USB-C input for you to directly connect your computer to it. It's got a USB-A for a thumb drive and your music on it, but then it's also a network streamer. It's got Ethernet, so you can just directly connect to your Ethernet or your NAS drive and then have your entire music library connected to this, so maybe that's a bit of a moot point. I love the design. Just like the Model 50 before it, the Model 40N is drop dead gorgeous. And this one looks near identical to the Model 50, though there is one, I guess, minor change, but for me, it really does change the look of this a little bit. It's got side venting lights, and it gives the shiny sides a bit of an accent. Marantz's amplifier range is a few levels above their budget home theater range. It doesn't show up much in photos or video, and Marantz did a good job of trying to make all the products look uniformly the same, but in person, these integrated amplifiers look so much nicer. They're heavier, sturdier, deeper, more premium feeling. They just feel more elegant altogether. The metal knobs have a really nice feel to them, and I feel compelled to just adjust them every so often just because they feel really good. It's a product that you just want to interact with, and while I do love it in the black finish, I am really curious what this does look like in that pearl finish as well, because in photos, that pearl finish looks amazing. On the front of this thing is the trademark porthole display. It's small and only features some basic info. You really can't do much to it, though if you were to do a basic menu dive, you might want to do that up close because, you know, it's kind of hard to see. The premium look and feel does extend to the back as well. All of the connections are well sorted, but aside from the added digital connectivity, this unit does omit a set of speaker binding posts. As with the Model 50, the supplied remote for this is essentially the same looking remote that is supplied with other Marantz products. I mean, just looking at this thing, there's so many different buttons on this, and I assume that's because this is built to work with other Marantz products. I mean, it's a really elegant remote. It's really weighty, it feels substantial, it's nice to hold in your hand, and it sort of just psychologically gives me the impression that the product that I'm interacting with is of a high quality. The cool thing that you can do with this remote, though, is you can adjust the low pass going out to your subwoofer. And so if you did have a more hands-on subwoofer, like one that didn't have an app, you can adjust the bass going out into your subwoofer and enjoy the fruits of that result. It's kind of cool. If though, let me put this down. If though I had to maybe just nitpick one thing on the 40N, it's not of the actual product itself. It's the HIFI app. It's not my favorite thing in the whole world. The cool thing with HIFI is that if you did have multiple Marantz or Denon products that you can add them all to the app and you can adjust them all on the fly. You can turn ones on or off and you can use multiple products at the same time. It's just that the app is really kind of clunky. It's not the most intuitive. I do find myself just intuitively going to the wrong page to adjust settings or just to power the device on. If I had one complaint, it's HIFI. I don't really love using it. You've probably noticed that I do have the Marantz Cinema 70 sitting alongside this product. Truth be told, I should have probably moved the Cinema 70 out of the way to get proper footage of just this product standalone, but in my tiny little condo, I am running out of space. And so if I was to move the Cinema 70, unplug all the wires, disconnect everything, move the product out of the way, move all the wires out of the way, then I would have to find a place to put the Cinema 70, and I'd just be scared of tripping over it or damaging it or anything. So the safest place for that product is atop the media unit. So I just pretty much left it there. And this did come in handy because I used the 40N in two different scenarios. The first one is the home cinema scenario, where I use the Marantz Cinema 70 as the home cinema amplifier with front, left, and right going out to the Marantz Model 40N, powering whatever front speakers I had in place. That's how I generally like to use an integrated as a dual purpose integrated. And so therefore my second setup was just using the 40N for movies and music. HDMI straight to this amplifier. It works perfectly, never dropped a signal. It's kind of awesome. My room is 12 by 10, floor-to-ceiling windows on the left and open on the right side because I'm in a condo. The speakers that I used were the ELAC Unify Reference Bookshelf, the Paradigm Founder 40B Bookshelf speaker, and the Arendal 1961 Home Theater Package. Subs used were the Arendal 1961 subwoofer and the Dolly 14F. Other gear used was the Alva TT V2 turntable and the CXC CD player, my Apple TV 4K, and of course HIFI to stream music. Okay, so the Marantz Model 50 was one of the most amazing amplifiers that I've heard in a really long time. And the 40N is exactly that amplifier, but just with some digital connectivity. So it sounds just as amazing. It's a big, comfy pillow of an integrated amplifier. It's totally rich, it sounds big, it sounds full, robust. Everything that I connect to it and play through it sounds amazing. It's got good imaging, but it's warm, it's tonally rich. The closest amplifier in sound to this is the Yamaha AS1200. It has a bit more detail up top, and if you do prefer that, then you should probably choose that one. Though, like the Model 50, the Yamaha is just an integrated amplifier. There's no digital connectivity. If I did want a bit more detail up top, I could just bump up the treble on the 40N, and to me, it gets pretty close to the Yamaha. But for those of you out there that are a bit more like me, that just want an amplifier to take whatever music, regardless of genre, and play it back with whatever speaker that I have connected and sound amazing every single time, this is kind of the amplifier for that. Case in point, playing Figures in Mist by Siyama on the Paradigm 40Bs was absolutely epic. It was massive sounding, it had tons of weight, lots of detail, the percussion sounded amazing, and the lower end thump was just truly epic. I love the way this sounds on this system. And I listen to a lot of drum and bass on a day-to-day basis, and regardless of what speaker I had connected, it always sounded full, it always sounded rich, it always had a bit more warmth to it. So I decided to run some vinyl, both tracks from back in the day, both from New Yuri Console. First, I Am the Black Hole of the Sun, the 4 Hero remix, and then It's Alright, I Feel It, the Ronnie Size remix. I have so many fond memories of both of these tracks. A, first hearing these on the radio back in the day, B, trying to hunt these down in store, and then C, hearing them for the first time really loud at a club. Playing these tracks back via the Alva TT, into the Marantz, into the Arendal 1961s, with a sub connected, sounds so much better than however I heard these tracks back in the day. I mean, I had a crappy Panasonic dual cassette boombox that I either played mixtapes through or just taped these tracks off the radio. And then all the clubs that I went to really didn't have great systems. So it's infinitely better sounding here. And maybe that's just a roundabout way of saying the phono stage inside the Marantz is on par with the Alva TT. I'm able to hear all the pops and crackles on these two grimy little records. but they still sound really big, really full. The 4 Hero remix is actually pressed at 45, which does sound better than the 33 pressing on the Ronnie Size remix, though that the Ronnie Size one, it's a really long drum and bass track. So I guess they had to cut it on 33 just to make it fit on the vinyl. Either way, I do find that the mids do sound tucked underneath. They're not really recessed. They're just kind of, they're there. There's a lot of body to them, but they're not shouting and coming out towards me. I want to say that it's kind of neutral and balanced, but with a little extra low-mid oomph to the overall sound. It's a bit more warmer overall, I think. When they talk about vinyl warmth, I really feel like I'm hearing more of that vinyl warmth when I'm playing it through the Marantz. Everything just has a little bit of a nice, comfy, warm hug of a sheen to it. This also has a really low noise floor in that if I am playing something that has silent passages, or if I have the volume cranked up and nothing's playing, I don't hear anything coming out of these speakers. That's a really nice thing, especially in comparison to those much less expensive Class D amplifiers that I do have in from time to time. If I have the volume cranked up on those, I do hear a bit more of noise coming out of my speakers, which I guess, you get what you pay for. I also never had to worry about this amplifier or the Model 50 before it be able to power any set of speakers that I've had in-house. And if you watch my ELAC Unify reference review, you know that I had a fair amount of trouble getting those speakers to sound their best, and it was only when I hooked them up with the Model 50 that they opened up and sounded better. And it was ditto for this Marantz Model 40N. And I played Lewis, James, and Lorne, No Team, and Triangle. When I plugged those speakers in, they sounded better controlled. They had more bass, they had more mid-range oomph. They just opened up overall, and they just sounded so good. And it made a lot of the music that I enjoy listening to sound the way that I like. And the percussion is captivating. It's snappy and textured on the speaker. But still, the ELACs are a bit more restrained speaker to my ears. So I switched back to the Paradigm 40Bs and ran these songs again. And I really wish that I had the rights to use any of those songs as the intro for this video because they sound amazing. And using the 40N for movies is equally amazing, and I love the fact that I can use the 40N for 2 completely different systems while remaining in the same position. First, as part of a full 7.1 theater package with the Arendo 1961 series, with the Cinema 70 taking care of all channels except front, left, and right, which are pre-outed from that into the 40N, taking the load off that and giving me full, impactful surround sound. I think this absolutely ruled. And watching Frankenstein via Netflix turned up to 11 with my kids while they hide under the blankets when things get a little bit scary was all kinds of amazing. The surround was amazing. Being able to just power a pair of fronts properly without having to worry about them just made everything sound a bit more full altogether. Incidentally, Frankenstein both looks and sounds gorgeous. My daughter remarked that it's kind of like watching Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Wicked, and then it also gave me vibes of Hannibal, so imagine all 3 of those meshed together. That's kind of what Frankenstein kind of visually looks like, and the sound is pretty good as well. But when I did simplify things and just use the 61 towers connected to the 40N and watch one battle after another, it sounded just as good. I am a bit of a surround sound guy for movies, but I can be convinced to just go straight 2-channel for movies as well, just providing I have a really good pair of speakers and a subwoofer connected. I think after a couple of days I could get used to just going straight 2-channel for everything. Yeah, so I think this is another home run from Marantz, and if you are on the market for a network streamer integrated amplifier and you want one that looks amazing as well, you should pretty much look no further. I think the curious question really is, what would you choose between the Marantz Model 50 and the 40N? Personally, I think I'm a 50 guy because I have so many products in-house that I really just want one integrated amplifier analog only. But you could twist my arm for the 40 as well. Thanks for watching.